Hi, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and today I have an unboxing video for you, which I really didn't expect to have because truthfully I didn't expect it to come today. It was quite surprising and very, very fast. Normally Amazon kind of comes like clockwork, and for some reason they were ahead of the game this time around. So I have two decks. Not both aren't tarot decks, but I'm really excited about the one because I'm going to start with that one first because I am a Lord of the Rings fan. I have been since I was a little kid. The very first story that I remember my dad reading was The Hobbit. I grew up being read to on more than one occasions. I read it to my children on countless occasions. I'm a Lord of the Ring fan. I have all of the Lord of the Ring movies. I think all but the last part of The Hobbit, which I will say I wasn't fond of them splitting The Hobbit into 3 parts. Like that book is not big. When you compare it to the Lord of the Rings, each of those books, it's not a big book. Do it right in one movie and that's all it needed to be. That was annoying to me, although I did like the inclusion of a girl elf, even though they had to sort of make that up. But anyways, I am a fan. Now, there is a new tarot deck actually that is coming out. I think it is actually available right now, called the Ring Cycle, with some beautiful artwork by, I want to say by the same person. I should have looked that up, but I didn't buy that, so it wasn't on my top of my list. I saw that tarot deck was out and I looked at it, but I wasn't completely sold on some of the changes to the suits and things like that. I just wasn't completely sold on it, and I wasn't entirely sure about even some of the artwork, but some of it was really powerful. Now, people say, oh, that's kind of ripped off of Lord of the Rings or J.R.R. Tolkien's work, but it's really not. The Lord of the Rings, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien, or Tolkien, I know some people say that again, like Lenormand and other things. I'm just going to do it my own way, rather than sound goofy to myself. So I can acknowledge that it's not completely accurate and still be okay with that. But excuse me, J.R.R. Tolkien pulled from, you know, Norse mythology, and so so it's pulling from a lot of the same stories. I'm gonna make sure I got his first name right. Richard Wagner was a German composer who did an opera in 4 parts, and it was called, I think it was called The Ring. Let me look it up. Yes, The Ring of Quilfin, and there's another German speaker here as well is going to laugh at me because I don't know. Nibelung, Nibelung, The Ring of Nibelung. So anyways, it's an epic opera that is often referred to as the Ring Cycle, which is why the tarot is called the Ring Cycle Tarot. And it's based on a lot of the same mythologies that J.R.R. Tolkien pulled from in order to write Lord of the Rings. So there seems to be crossover, as if there's one's pulling from the other, but they're pulling from the same original source. And so I've read a lot of those mythologies and things like that because I'm a fan and because I'm a mythological freak person. I was looking to get a new tarot deck because I had, you know, kind of purged a few from or in the process of purging some out of my collection. I'm ripping it open while I speak. And so I was in the market for a tarot deck, but I just, I wanted to get the Osho Zen Tarot, because I have the Tao Oracle, which I love, and Quilfin was so nice to do personal run through of the cards for me, so I could really see the Osho Zen Tarot, and there's kind of a set, so I had to get it. Well, I went to get it from Amazon. Whoops. Sorry about that. So I went to get it from Amazon and they were temporarily sold out. I hope that does not mean that I'm going to have a hard time finding it. I'm kind of keeping an eye on the situation because then I might need to snag it from eBay. But, so I went to do that and it was done. And then there were other ones, like there was the Green Witch was high on my list as the Green Witch Tarot. But I'm kind of on the fence with that one. I think it's gorgeous. I love the way that it's set up. The colors are so rich and beautiful. It might just be a little bit too cutesy, and I guess I didn't see it really filling a new space, you know, so it didn't bring anything new for me yet that I can see. And I have the wild wood that I still need to really work with. So I wasn't sure that it was going to bring anything new to the table. I was also interested in the Thelema tarot that Tarot Ties. I don't know if that's her YouTube. See, these people that have different names on YouTube and Instagram, I'm not sure if that's the name of her YouTube. I'll find a link to it. She does a review of it. It is digital art. And so I'm a little bit leery of that. And some of it pushes a little close to my idea of like romance novel tarot art. But I'm interested in it because it almost seems like a more adult version of the, and I don't know. Because it almost seems like a similar feel to the Green Witch Tarot a little bit. And then the other one that seems quite similar to the Green Witch, but maybe more, not realistic, because obviously they're both magical based, but a little more, I don't know what to call it, because I don't want to say adult, because I don't think the Green Witch is not an adult deck. So I'm not sure. It just seems a little bit of a step up in power level. Is the As Above. There's like the shadow, the Book of Shadows, As Above and So Below. Well, the So Below doesn't really appeal to me, but the As Above, I'm not a witch, and I'm not a I don't identify as a pagan, although I think that many of my things fit into that category. But this does like change. I'm very interested. I'm so sorry for my phone. I'm really rambly today. Let me mute that. I'm really rambly today. So excuse me for that. I feel quite scattered today, but I'm going to persevere. I'll be like doing massive amounts of editing because I really wanted to share this. But anyways, I'm really interested in working with the Wheel of the Year, and the majors have been changed to the Wheel of the Year. One of the suits is all of the planets for astrology, and other suits has like various different divination processes. But the only thing that stops me from getting that deck is there is the whole Earth suit has little gnomes in it. Not like earthy gnomes, like Brian Froud gnomes, but like little red-hatted garden gnomes. Even though there was one card with the earth on it, was covered in pointy-hatted little gnomes. That just killed it for me. So I kept hitting on these really lush decks and coloration and like modern-y kind of feel to them. And then there was just something that I wasn't sure about. So I was kind of getting frustrated, to be honest, and I woke Quilfin up because, you know, I'm in America and she's in Germany, so the time difference is a little bit... So sometimes I can't help it. I'm like, I wish you were awake because I'm trying to shop and I'm having no success. And she's like, what? But anyways, so I was kind of getting frustrated and I finally just scrapped it all. I'm like, you know what? Oh, look, I'm flashing it. Oh, I don't want to do that. So I kind of was just like, I just totally went in a different direction and pulled something else out for a tarot deck. So I ended up ordering the Tarot Mucha, which I have wanted for quite some time, because I think that it's quite stunning for reading with clients, especially because some of the decks that I was looking at were really cool, but they really weren't decks that I probably would pull out to read for clients. And that's important to me. I like to have access to a variety of different voices in tarot even. I know I talk about tarot voices across the different types, but even within tarot, I hear them as different voices, and I like to have a variety for reading with clients. And I have, you know, I use Tarot of the Hidden Realms. I use the Fountain Tarot almost a lot. I fell in love with Tarot of the Old Path that Melissa gave to me that has been, and I kind of like that style that is almost like a Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's not. And that's what I feel like with the Tarot Mucha. But there are a couple cards in it that I don't particularly like, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So I ended up getting that, but then look what I found. I found a beautiful playing card set, which is called Wagner's Ring. 55 illustrations by Arthur Rackham. Now, Arthur Rackham is an artist who has done a lot of amazing illustrations, and I believe, and I should look it, you know, I'm going to look it up right now before I say things. The Ring Cycle Tarot, because if you like the artwork that you're about to see, you may like this deck, and I personally may end up getting this deck. Yes, the illustrations for this tarot deck are also by Arthur Rackham. And this is all with Old Norse gods. So I know myself, and I'm probably going to end up getting that if I really, but I don't know though, because wait till you see this. This, I already showed you this, but now that it's not glaring, it's like part of it stuck on here. Look at this. How gorgeous is that? Because this, in my opinion, is going to make an amazing oracle deck, or, you know, just divination deck, without, just reading it from these cards. Because what it does is give you, okay, so here are the backs, which are stunning. I hope that you can see those. The backs are absolutely gorgeous. Very wand energy, very something coming up out of the fire transformation. Love it. Okay, so we have, oh, here's a picture of Richard Wagner, or painting, I should say, of Richard Wagner, who is the composer, the German composer. And then we have a bio card on both. So we have Wilhelm Richard Wagner, 1813 to 1883. He was a German composer, which are notable for the ambitious. Oh, he's most known for his operas, which have ambitious moral and musical themes. His 4-opera cycle, Der Ring des Nibelungen, I'm sorry, German people out there, is one of the great achievements in the history of music and theater. And I've seen pieces of this. This deck of playing cards summarizes the storyline of the ring, with each suit representing one of the operas. So the diamonds is Das Rheingold. The spades are, I'm going to type them up here because how am I going to do this? Hearts is Siegfried and clubs is No, not going to do it. I'm going to type them up there. Look up the ring. Richard Wagner's The Ring Cycle, and you'll see all kinds of information about it because I can't pronounce this stuff. And then it has on the back about Arthur Rackham, who is an English illustrator awarded a first-class medal at the Barcelona International Exhibition in 1911 for his illustrations from A Midsummer's Night's Dream, Undine, The Ring, and The Imp of the Smoke. He's left behind a legacy of over 60 illustrated books, including works of Shakespeare, Dickens, James Barrie, and Lewis Carroll. I have definitely seen his art in a lot of literature books. So he is an amazing artist. Okay, I'm back looking like a crazy person, but I forgot to charge my battery. So anyway, I don't even know where I was, but so we have these amazing cards. So like we have here the Joker and so to the side here, it tells who sort of the main god or goddess or whosoever of the cycle is in the picture. And then it gives a little bit of a description of what's happening in this. So here, well, actually, let's do this Joker. So here we have Fafnir, who is guarding the horde. So we have sort of the dragon guarding the horde, and then we have Siegfried having slain the dragon. So those are just the two Jokers. So then, as the card said, these are broken. Each suit is broken up and represents, and it follows along the story of the opera. And so the first one, which would be the diamonds. Oops. So the first one, which is the diamonds, follows das Rheingold. So here, the first one, I'm not sure why they put, but this is Donner, the god of weather. So we kind of have him as an ace. Then we have Albrecht, who is a dwarf, and he falls in love with the Rhine maidens. And so these are beautiful maidens that kind of are, you know, fae type energies, and they are protecting the Rheingold. They are set to protect the Rheingold, and Albrecht, who is a dwarf, falls in love with the Rhine maidens, and they kind of laugh at him because they are beautiful and gorgeous, and he is a ugly dwarf, and they kind of laugh at him like, really, this isn't gonna happen. And so he is gets angry, and he steals their gold. So we have Albrecht, and we have him steals the Rheingold, plunging it into darkness because the Rheingold kind of glows like a light. And so he steals it. And then we have Albrecht, so because they tell him, the Rhine maidens tell him that this has great power to it, and the ring will, again, the one ring to rule them all. Whoever has the ring, which is made from the Rheingold, will have power over everybody that is around them, will have power over everybody. And so he steals it and the rest of the Rheingold, and he orders his brother to make a cap, which when you wear it turns you invisible. So it's not, you know, now by the time it gets to Tolkien, it is the ring turns them invisible as well, but it's kind of a shift in the story. So he orders him to make the cap. You know, his brother is Mime, and he's so sad because he knows his brother's gone crazy and is with the ring and is trying to rule everybody, is enslaving their people, and he's really upset. And well, in this one, he's just upset because he disappeared and he doesn't know how to deal with it. Then we have, you know, Albrecht, who is enslaving his own people. There's so much you could do with that. You can be even, you know, just letting your obsessions overtake you. You can use that for sure. So then we have Logi, which I would assume would be like Loki, I'm guessing, and Wotan. And they watch, so they find out, they come down and they find out what Albrecht, again, I'm sure I'm slaughtering his name, but they come out and find out, you know, what he's doing, and they know they need to get the ring away from him. And so then it comes kind of like a Thomas the Rhymer tale. Oh, there's another one where he keeps turning into things and he tells you got to keep holding on. I'm mixing my legends. So they're watching, in this one, they're watching him turn into a serpent because they're trying to get the ring away from him. So he's like, oh, I can turn into a serpent. Oh, I can turn into this. Oh, I can turn into that. And then they're like, oh, but I wonder, you're doing all these big things, but can you turn into something very small? And so he like turns into a frog and they catch him. So they have that. So he's forced to surrender his golden hoard. And then but he curses the ring, that whoever is going to wear the ring is going to not be content and is going to want to kill people around him, and just generally bad things are going to happen. Again, you can see this following with Lord of the Rings. And so then there are two giants that Woden has promised one of his daughters to, but he doesn't really want to give it to them, so he's going to offer them gold instead. So that shows those two giants fighting over the gold, which is interesting because when they do end up getting the gold and the ring, and so when one of them wears the rings, he like beats his brother to death. So we definitely see the negative power of the ring over the people. Here we have the Rhine maidens, who are very sad because they have lost the gold that they're supposed to be protecting. We have the giants with the daughter of Woden, Freya. And we have just a beautiful image, goddess of youth, Freya, here. I think that's beautiful. Hopefully it's... And I know I'm spending way too much time on this. This is the last one of this. We have the god of fire, Logi, who's talking with the Rhine maidens who are so sad over the loss of their gold and probably going to get up to no good later on. So it goes through. So each of the suits follows one of the 4 operas, which tells the story that is going along with this Norse mythology cycle. So how beautiful are these, though? If people are interested in seeing these cards, I will definitely do a walkthrough of them. But so this, I'm obviously really excited about these. I think they're really cool. I think that I'm going to try doing some readings with them and just see how they do, because I have a feeling these are going to, you could use these. It's basically what they did with the the ring cycle tarot. So you can look that one up and see what you think about that. I end up being tempted to get it. We shall see. So I got that. I'm really excited, clearly, and oh my goodness, it's just one of those days today. I shouldn't even be doing an unboxing, but I am anyway. So, and a babble about Norse mythology. Oops, I shouldn't show my, nope, not showing my address. So then the other thing that I got was, again, the Tarot Mucha, which I will do a walkthrough of that in the second part. So here we have, kind of dinged on the side, this is a Lo Scarabeo deck. It has a beautiful box. And one of the things I was quite intrigued about this deck was because I do love the box. This is one I probably will actually keep in the box, because even if I plan on, using it and things, I probably will keep it in the box, because it's just a great box. The lid comes off, which I'll show more in a walkthrough. It does come with a beautiful colored guidebook, again showing some readings. From what I understand, though, so it's a beautiful guidebook. Again, I'm going to switch down and do a full walkthrough of this. But from what I understand, this is very Rider-Waite based. This is an excellent deck for you to use if you want to stay kind of classic style, but you really don't resonate with the Rider-Waite, which is the case with myself. This is a beautiful way to do that. It's also it's just from what I understand, it's just a beautiful deck for reading with clients. The colors are gorgeous on it. It's so classic looking. So it's just a fantastic deck to use for reading with clients. Size wise, it's a little larger. Not by much. It's the same width as Tarot of the Hidden Realms, but it's a slightly taller. It's a much thicker cardstock. Does not feel like what I think of as a Lo Scarabeo deck. They definitely took this one out, or put this one up. So it's about the exact same height, actually, as the Tarot, or as the Fountain Tarot. So it's the same exact height and similar thickness in cardstock, although this is that beautiful matte, and this is a very high gloss. There's definitely a high sheen gloss to this. So, you have your different, just kind of advertising cards. Just here. Here is the backing. Obviously, it is not reversible. In terms of the back, you can read anything reversible, but let's see. Let me just look. Yeah, it doesn't look like it gives reversals in the book either, which makes sense, because obviously, if they were going to do reversals in the book, they wouldn't. They wouldn't have this. But as I've said before, I, number one, don't read reversals that way, not physically. And number two, even if I did, when I lay my tarot cards down for a reading, I'm laying them face up. I don't lay them face down and then turn them over as I go. I like to see it all. That's just my personal way I do it. So either way, the backs don't play a role for me in whether or not it's readable as in reversals. But this is an Art Nouveau style, and one of the reasons that I got this was because, or one of the reasons I was first interested in it is because I use these beautiful astrological cards when I do birth charts and astrology readings, and I thought that these tarot cards would go beautiful with these, and I am not wrong. There is a older, no, I mean, they're just beautiful together. You know, it's not exact, they're not the same company or anything. Well, I think this actually is, yeah, this is actually Lo Scarabeo. I don't think it's the same artist. It says Lunia Weatherstone, Massimiliano Filodoro, some other names that I can't. So this is a tribute to the art of Alphonse Mucha, or Mucha, I don't know how you pronounce that. It is not his artwork, it's just done in the style. So anyways, we do have Lunia Weatherstone in this one as well. And so that's why I thought this would be a beautiful deck to do together, and I am right. And I'm right. So I'm going to go ahead and switch. These really are beautiful. I have not seen all these. There are a couple cards. Let me see if I can pull the ones I know that I really don't like. For one is a major arcana for sure. Although I don't really want to see them all because this one, Judgment. How creepy is that angel? That is just not a calling, well, I mean, I guess they're calling forth to judgment, but that is a scary, either a pissed off or psychotic looking angel. Very interesting. So I'm not fond of this particular card for sure. That was one, I want to say there's another one that, but that was the main one that was like, oh, you know, that's really creepy. I guess we'll see when we go through them together, because there was another one. I haven't seen all of them, but I have seen a couple walkthroughs. I have seen some reviews of people that were very pleasantly surprised. I've seen Avalon did she was very sad because she was so sick, like she had laryngitis and she couldn't hardly talk, but she was so blown away at how these read that she wasn't expecting them to read so as well as they did, and she was just blown away by them. And also Benabel Wen does a wonderful review on her blog, so I'll try to find both of those and put those in the description box below, because Benabel Wen's reviews are so, when I can find, you know, if it's on a particular deck I love to read hers because they are so thorough. And so I think she said the same thing about the, everybody I think that I've seen have thought that that angel is kind of strange in Judgment. But it's quite a thick deck because the card stock is so hefty, although it's about probably the same. Yeah, it's about the same height. So the card stock is quite similar in thickness to the Fountain Tarot, because they are about the same height and they are the exact same size. So it's a nice size deck. It's very impressive. I'm really excited about this. In fact, I have an astrology reading to do, and I will probably be using this because from everything that I've understood from it and from what I've seen, it is very Rider-Waite based. If you're comfortable with the Rider-Waite base, the Rider-Waite system, you will not have any problems reading these because, and apparently there's also a lot of nuance of information within them. They are not just a pretty face, so to speak. Like there's a lot of symbology, as should be, built into them. So I'm really looking forward to working with these and having another real classic feel deck, which is something that I don't have, because I do have the Rider-Waite, but I don't prefer to work with it. So I don't have that. I love Tarot of the Old Path, which is kind of a pagan version of the Rider-Waite Smith, I think. It feels, but I feel like this is going to be a very classic, right, instead of using the Rider-Waite Smith. So this has been a very muddled unboxing, and I do apologize for that. I, again, wasn't prepared for it, and I've kind of a little bit off today. Again, allergies have been horrible this season. Sleep has not been great, and I ate something funky this morning, so I just have been a little off kilter, that's for sure. But I'm really excited about these, clearly, and so I will go ahead and switch now, and thank you for your patience with this kind of rambling. By the way, look at this nail polish. This looks like burnt, see, I'm sorry, this is one more ramble. When I was a little girl, I was fascinated with crayons. I colored all the time. I still color. But I, always wanted the 64 box of crayons like, everybody does. I even have a little short story on this, I think, somewhere in the archives of something. I just really loved, and the one crayon that I loved, I loved all the crayons, but you could only get this crayon in the 64 box of crayons, which was burnt sienna. I don't know if you can still, if it's still in there or not. I may have to pick up a box of 64 crayons and see if it's in there, but there was a color that I loved. It was my favorite color growing up, and you could only get it in that big box of crayons, and this nail polish reminds me of that color. It also reminds me of pumpkins, which I love. It's not called anything like that. It's called The Last Adventure. It's by Sally Hansen, but I already said this in another video that I'm working on, with the Vanessa Tarot, but I was at the grocery store and I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, it's pumpkin, like it's so pumpkin-y, and I took a picture of it and texted it to Quilpin and was like, pumpkin nails, like, can I do this? And she's like, oh yeah, you can do it. So I had promised her that I would use it in the Vanessa Tarot, which she gave me for my birthday. But look at that, it's so fall. I'm in love with it, absolutely in love with it. And look at it. Oh, can we just pause and say, look at it with this Mucha. Mucha. I'm going to look up, before I switch over, I'm going to look up how you say that correctly. And thankfully you will not have to see me in the next section. I have seen a lot of people of late seem to be on a kick of just doing videos like with no makeup and stuff, which is basically what happens on my story times, because it's usually late at night and it's all gone. But anyways, that's a ramble, but now I'm just going to sit here and stare at how fortuitous my nail polish is with going to do a walkthrough of this deck. So, okay, I'm done. I'm done rambling. It is on to a first impression. My first impression, again, I have not seen a complete walkthrough of this. I've seen people's reviews, a couple reviews on it. It's been in my wish list for quite a while, but I have not seen a complete card by card walkthrough, which is very rare for me. So I do always look forward to doing these kind, because like with the Fountain Tarot and a couple others, because most of the time I've seen all the cards. So when I haven't, it is kind of exciting, but I prefer generally to see them all, because I do, I do want to be able to work with the deck. I don't want to waste my money. So anyways, we're done. Goodbye.